We are really excited for our next session, our final session, our keynote session. We have, by good fortune, roped in two of the most celebrated names in their fields, and I am very, very excited to introduce them. Um, the funny bit is that I was trying to write their introductions, and I was like, "How do you introduce somebody that everybody already knows?" And that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to just go on Twitter and see how they like to introduce themselves. So I found their introductions off Twitter, and I'm going to just go over it and just start this session because I know you're all waiting for this one. Um, our presenter for this session is defines himself as an Indian, a son, a father, a husband, a brother, and a friend. For over 2 decades, he has been the face of pretty much every successful MTV reality show. And he's been an aspiration for millions and millions of people. Today, we are like really honored for him to be a presenter for our keynote session. And we were in a pinch when we got in touch with him. And I know that he's a great Indian. I'm sure he's a great son, father, husband, and a brother. But if anything I know of him in the last like few days is that he can be a great friend, because here we have today Rannvijay Singh. Hello, Rannvijay. We are very, very happy to have you and really excited for this session. The next person we're going to introduce is your work friend, actually. She defines herself as a co founder and
I
CEO.
cannot hear anything.
I think you might have to turn this session sound
I
on.
cannot
Can you
hear
hear me
anything,
now?
and now I'm not getting that option that I was getting earlier.
Can everybody else hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, awesome. Hello.
Yes. How's it going? How's it
uh,
going? What's happening?
Going very well. So happy to have you on. Thank you for getting us out in a pinch. We've turned this around in like 3 days. So thank you. We were really
Awesome. No, really happy to be here. Really happy to be here. I was actually watching a bit of everything else that you guys are doing. It's really interesting and very informative, and it, it has a very organic way of how things are happening. It's not very formal. So I was happy to be part of this.
I know, and I think that is one of the things that Masai is very proud of being accessible and providing accessibility as well. So it's very important for us that anyway, this is a wonderful compliment from your end.
Uh,
As I was saying while you couldn't hear me, that the next person I'm going to introduce is actually a work friend of yours, and
yes.
she on Twitter has defined herself as the co-founder and CEO of Sugar, a mom, a running, cycling, swimming person in that order. One thing that was fairly unsettling for me, and something that is a very humble thing of her to not put that here, is that she's actually a role model to millions of women and girls, as she's become a house with Shark Tank. Her company, Sugar, is one of the fastest growing beauty brands in the country, with over 35
Yes.
retail outlets. She's a very unique story, and I think everybody now knows her because she is India's favorite shark. So I'm not going to spend any more time dwindling on this. Please help me welcome, well, Rannvijay's work friend, Vineeta Singh.
Vineeta Singh, do Tanya.
Hello. Hi, I hope I'm audible.
You are loud and clear. I hope all of us are good on the technology
I
front.
I haven't heard. I can't hear. No,
this
I
this
can't.
is a
I
this is
can't
a
hear. I can
sign,
hear you, but
Pragun.
I
You
can't
should be
hear
doing
her.
offline
That
events
is
now.
strange.
You really can't hear me?
Can you hear her?
I know you are a great actor.
I can hear her. Yeah.
Why can't I hear her? Is she upset with me?
I've blocked
Vineeta,
you.
why,
Blocked you
why can't
on
I hear
Zuddle.
you? I can't hear her. Seriously.
That's the new swag after like Instagram and Twitter, blocking people on Zuddle.
Now I can hear her. Something
Okay.
just happened.
I'm sensing a trend here, Rannvijay. Everything's reaching you about a couple
The
of
trend
minutes
is
late
called
here.
tube light. Good morning. Are you in London, Rannvijay? Because it could be that it's like really late evening there. No, actually early morning.
No,
I
still
think
can't
it's
hear
there.
her, man.
And
I think something
oh,
opened up, but
Listen, Masai
uh,
shouldn't be
Vineeta,
struggling with tech.
I
Shagun,
swear
this is very
we did a
disappointing.
tech check and everything was going good. But that's
I
the
think I
beauty
came and disrupted everything.
of our this thing. We got to be patient.
that's.
What should I do?
Can you still hear me, Rannvijay?
I can hear you clearly.
You just can't
Vineeta,
hear
can you
me.
hear me?
I can hear everybody and everything.
Great. So
And
we can
myself.
either play a really horrible game of Chinese whisper here, or or if you guys can just mute and unmute yourself once, and hopefully that should fix it up for us.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, loud and clear.
I can hear her.
It's
Wow.
happening, guys.
Yes,
It's happening.
we did it. No, I can't hear Pragun, but I'm okay with that for now. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm very flattered that they clubbed me in the same category as you in terms of popularity. But let's not kid ourselves.
No,
I'm a big fan of Rannvijay for a long time. In fact, all the girls in my team are also like massive fans. So they used to come to the Shark Tank setup just to meet Rannvijay. So very honored to be here on the
this
session.
is
And of
this
course,
is
Masai is, we apart from the fact that it's a great place for sugar to now recruit at, because like really in this place where in this world where it's so hard to hire tech talent, especially in a place like Bombay, I think Masai has been a godsend, and very grateful for Prateek and Yogesh to build this. And I'm sure you're having a fantastic day, but very excited about the session.
We are
very.
having a.
I mean, you're really sweet. But one thing that I really like about you is the clarity that you have with everything, with in your life, whether it's a balance between family, fitness, work, and the way you say things. One of the things that I noticed was that you won't start a sentence and then start looking for what you want to say. You as soon as you start, you're clear where you're going to go, and that shows in your actions, where you work, while you run, everywhere. So how does one, this is my question generally, how do you get this clarity? How do you have clarity about everything?
Vineeta, before you start, hold on. This is a friendly affair,
I
and
can't hear him, you know that.
I'm going to just drop out and run Vijay, yes, and I'm going to make it easier for you not to hear me. See you guys. Have a great conversation.
Is he saying bad things about me?
He's saying, Rannvijay, I love your cap and I want it.
All right, I'll send it over. But just
Yeah.
right off the bat, what I admire and I see, we've been blessed because we, meet a lot of people, but you have clarity. It's black or white. Is that something that you've noticed about yourself?
So I have learned to follow my gut and to follow my heart the hard way. I think I spent many years of my life, just responding to peer pressure and, trying to get validation from others and, not listening to what my gut told me. And I realized that, I ended up starting the wrong businesses, doing the wrong partnerships, and making all kinds of stupid mistakes. And the moment, and all of us have this inner voice that's always telling us what we want out of everything, but most of the times it's so hard to listen to it, and we drown it out in all the FOMO and all the noise and all the media glamour around whatever is happening in the industry and so on and so forth. And I realized that that one thing, just believing that my voice is gonna it knows what I want out of my life, and just following it will take me to the right place. I think that's been a big transition. I think that happened only about a few years back, maybe 8 to 10 years back. And since then,
Yeah.
there's been no looking back, and I'm very grateful. I just hope that instinct stays there and keeps telling me where to go.
When we were shooting together and when the episode started airing, one of the articles that did the round a lot about all the sharks, but yours was that it was like a 1 crore ki job chhodkar, it was like news headlines and all. So I just want to say, lots of people, their ambition is to go to IIT, and or an IIM and get a big pay package. And we're in a developing nation, and that would be awesome for the whole family to celebrate. And you got that, and your pay package was, like we've read and heard in all the news articles, it was 1 crore, right? So if, I mean, first of all, you can correct me if that is, it was 10 crores or whatever, or less, but now that you're saying that your
Well,
clarity just came in now, and was that a gut feeling also? What was it? How did you decide?
Okay, thanks. Firstly, when you started this question about all the articles doing the rounds, I thought you were going to talk about one of those articles where they talk about what we were paid on a per day basis, and
Oh
somehow,
no.
like, there are a million media stories, and I'm always like the least paid, and I'm like, who is? Do you also have articles floating around on how much you were paid per day, and is it
No,
like more than my per
no.
day rate?
I just kind of ignore that because that's actually my bread and butter. You guys are just doing an offhand bonus cherry on the top thing when you do Shark Tank. For me, it's so I don't discuss it. I'm like, ye pata nahi, mujhe nahi pata.
But now all the numbers are wrong. We didn't get paid as much as they wrote that we got paid. Anyways, I hope this doesn't find its way to the Sony team. But yeah, so so on, like, for me, yeah, it was a 1 crore job offer, but it was in USD, of course,
Wow.
and it was not in INR, and it was investment banking, which is obviously, in at least at that time, 15 years ago, in these schools, was the best paying kind of job.
Yes.
And for me, I grew up. My mom and dad both are actually PhDs, and we grew up in the AIMS campus. My dad used to work at AIMS, my mom ICMR. So there was massive clarity on the fact that whatever I do, I have to be the best in the world. There's no
Mm-hmm.
question of being trying to aiming at least to be best in India or best in Delhi. I have to be the best in the world. And my parents wanted me to become a doctor, and at that time, how those conversations go, right? Like, when you eliminate doctor and you have, I knew I didn't want to become a doctor because I saw doctors at AIMS, and I knew it was like probably the hardest career choice ever. And so by default, it was not doctor equal to engineer, and that's how I ended up. And the best engineering school, I really believed, at least at that time, was IIT, and I ended up there. And I realized there that this wasn't really meant for me, and I went to the farthest IIT because I wanted to stay away from home. And I think one of the best decisions that happened in my life has been staying in a hostel, living independently. In fact,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
many kids out here, I see, I went to Bangalore recently, I saw so many kids still staying at their homes in their hometowns, and not wanting to come back to office. But I realized that the most you learn is when you get thrown into like uncertainties and these crazy situations, like living in a hostel, living independently. And I really, every time I meet these kids, I tell them that unless there's a medical reason, please don't remote work, just go back to your office and start working. So that's for everybody here. But and then I realized that I always knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I uh, found out that IIM Ahmedabad had the best course in entrepreneurship. It was called Leadership and Entrepreneurship Management. And I decided to go to Ahmedabad. So I was very clear that I won't go to any other IIM. I'll only go to IIM Ahmedabad because it had that
Wow.
course.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I also had clarity like that only. I said I won't go to IIM only.
only
That was
go
the
deals.
clarity.
No
Wow.
less.
So no, but I want to just say kudos to, because when you're deciding all these things, you're also younger. You haven't achieved things in your life yet. It's just academics, and you come first in your class and stuff. But to say, okay, not any IIM, this particular IIM for this particular course, and that is again sharp focus. So then you did that,
Yeah.
and when
Yeah.
how
And
did you say
again, the
no to this?
irony was that, of course, that year that course didn't happen. So I actually showed up at the professor's house and made him do like this 2 day zip version, because I was like, I came here to this institute for this goddamn course. You might as well show up and make this happen for
You're,
us. And he's, of
I'm
course, been a
just realizing something about you, that you are great at everything, great boss, great friend, everything, great shark. As a student, you must be a nightmare. वो घर पे बंदा सो रहा है, आराम कर रहा है, you reach like, अरे सिखाओ मुझे. Oh my God.
No, very incidentally, he's been one of the mentors for a lot of the
Mentors, yes.
women who came on Shark Tank as well. And he, in fact,
You
scolded me
spoke
a lot
about him.
post Shark Tank. Yeah.
You spoke about him a lot, and you're like, you know that lady that you were talking to, that you've been mentored by my mentor, and you had a soft heart for her right away, and we noticed all of that. But how did you say no to this 1 crore, or whatever, $90,000, whatever's thrown at you at such a
200,000,
young
yeah.
age. Yeah.
Yeah,
How do you do that?
200,000. So
200,000.
yeah, I was I was very lucky that I had three other batchmates who I was talking to, and we decided to start this business together. And at that time I was 23 years old, and I really thought that I could like I really thought that if I wanted to become an entrepreneur right now, I have very little liabilities. If I don't take risk right now, like I said, so far in my entire life, I've done like, whatever was the right thing to do in terms of having like this textbook career. And, this was time to take one big risk. And of course, I didn't want to live a life of regret that I missed this
Perfect.
opportunity where I had three other batchmates, and, we would like build this company together. It was very exciting because when you have a co-founder, then you're less scared because you don't feel like the only stupid person.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
before and we said no to the offers, etc. And even before our graduation, our first attempt at starting a company shut down. So we
Nice.
actually were on graduating, and that day we had like no job offer, no business, and nothing in hand. But to be honest, a lot of people ask me on Instagram that why did you even sit for placement if you didn't want to take up the offer? So I didn't. But this was like we used to have this internship, and this was like a pre-placement offer. And
Yeah.
I'm very grateful because it's important to know what your fallback option is, because shit happens when you start up.
And
And
confidence के लिए बहुत जरूरी होता है. As a student who is in a institution, you need to know that somebody is putting a work, somebody does trust your skill, and whatever you worked hard for means something. And that's why what I wanted to ask you is that your first company, like you said before placement, also it shut down. What are the kind of learnings that you got from your professional experience, which were really pivotal before you actually started Sugar? Because that was not the first thing that you started, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think one of the biggest takeaways I've had is that your reputation matters. So it's important to be
Wow.
honest, to build whatever you're building with integrity. It's important to like when you give your word to somebody, it's important that you hold yourself accountable to that. And there have been so many cases where there was the right thing to do versus the more profitable thing to do, and I've always chosen the right thing. I don't know whether it is there is a bit of karma, or there is a bit of luck that comes and helps you out later, or it's because people like you because you have a reputation of being honest and having high integrity. But I think it's really worked out well for me. So I always say, like, the things that I'm right now most known for is that 1 crore offer and the Shark Tank thing. Both were very lucky situations. And I really feel that if you the one that I worked hardest for, which is Sugar, is not the thing that I'm most known for. But if you you work hard, you have high integrity, you always keep your word, you don't treat people badly. They, like you may fail many times, but eventually you end up at the right place at the right time, and things happen, things go the right way. So I've I feel reputation really matters, and it's hard to forget that. I see kids in their 20s doing silly things like taking up an offer and then renegotiating, not showing up on the day of the first day, etc. But I feel that
Wow.
those who sort of like care about their reputation, care about their word, they end up going a much longer way in their career. So that's one. And my second learning has been that it's important to take people along wherever you're going. I really feel that that your team is all that you have, because markets change. Businesses like can be really doing well one day and then it all goes bust the other day. The only thing that you have is your team, which will figure out the way to get you out of these sticky situations. So again, it's important to carry them along. And that sort of connects back to the first point about karma. Sorry to go
Yeah.
so deep in the second question
No.
itself, but I truly believe that this matters in the long run.
Yeah. Also the people that you build something with, and you must have gone through so many ups and downs, because in entrepreneurship there are failures more than successes. And when things are going well, you want the same people with you, the ones who stuck
Coming back.
around when things weren't going well, right? Because they're the real people. And connected to that is the next question: three things that you think are gospel for first-time entrepreneurs. One would be the team. I'm guessing. I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why I thought
yeah,
I'd ask you this question.
yeah. Yeah. Would love to hear your answer. Actually, you've invested in a lot of companies. So what do you look for? I mean, what do you think are the, you're an
I'm
entrepreneur yourself. You've like really like, turned your entire story around by investing in all these companies and partnering with these
yeah.
early stage founders.
I think I invested in people, from
Yeah.
all the things that are doing really well. It was the background of the person, how involved they were. If there was, I'm not one of those guys like when you guys look at technical things, gap hai market mein, size kitna bada hai, scalability kitni hai. For me, in initial days, it was the person. He said, "Dude, this is what I want to do. I want to start a, say, for example, a coffee." And I said, "Yeah, man. There's no Indian coffee that I could say proudly as an Indian user, saying because there are all others." And that guy, I was part of his uh, entrepreneurial journey earlier, and I realized he was a good guy. So the reputation that you spoke about for yourself is one of the things that I look at for a person. Already given some exits to some people, already worked really well under somebody, promising. So those things help, and a little a little bit of gut, a little bit of gut. I'd rather be part of something that's smaller, but I don't get cheated by the people there,
Yeah.
than be part of something that's $1 billion unicorn and then you just feel shafted. I don't like that. And I like to be part of things that where I could contribute. Uh, Otherwise, I just put a money in a fund where they do their job. But my independent individual investments, the one where I can bring something to the table. Sometimes it's me promoting the product. Sometimes it's because I've been part of. So thanks for asking that question. You're so sweet. But also, I'm learning a lot from you guys. One of the reasons that I did this show is because I was a huge fan of Shark Tank, and the opportunity of being around you guys and to see what you're looking at, to see what an Anupam is saying, what Aman's doing, is like wow, man. So that is like a course, like the courses that I haven't done, just to feed off the things you're saying, and not just on screen, off screen, how you guys talk to each other. It was quite I was a learning for me, and precious moments. Uh,
Yeah. And some of the entrepreneurs roped you in as well on the deal.
yes,
And some of the
yes.
hottest deals.
So happy. I'm so happy. You're right. So I thought I would want to do a get together because all of you guys keep meeting each other, but you guys are so busy. To get you guys together is difficult. But one day with some of our companies that we are part of, I'm so proud to be part of a couple of those deals with you, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, you
That's
invested in the shoe one, right? And Skippy as well?
in a can,
In a
in a
can. Oh,
can,
okay, in a can.
in
Yeah.
in a can. And Skippy, no, because they didn't want anything else, dude. They got
Okay.
you guys. They're like, हमें और किसी चीज़ की ज़रूरत नहीं है. They were already doing so well, but that was something that was a no-brainer.
No
That's the
brainer,
other
yeah.
thing. The other investors in the company sometimes make me very confident of,
Yeah.
oh, dude, this is a no-brainer. If the founder, they want you in the team, kar lo. Leverage Edu was one of those because I really,
Yeah. Oh, I
uh,
love the guy.
so I know him since like a year. October, I got an opportunity. I got it, and now you know the story. So I think I got lucky also many of these times. so so another thing so this is what you learn from your experience. And first time entrepreneurs ko ek aur cheez, what would you want to tell them? That okay, your team, your reputation, what is one more thing that you should just keep in mind?
I think the why, and I think this came out very well during many episodes of Shark Tank. That don't forget why you started and have very clear conviction on why you want to do this, right? And each
Hmm.
of us who built our companies have our own answers to that. And the only thing guaranteed about entrepreneurship is that there will be dark days. There will be many dark days. There'll be probably 2 days which are great in between, and then there are again dark days, unpredictable stuff, and you need to have that reason to get out of bed and show up smiling in front of your team.
Yes.
And that why, the reason why you started, the purpose, what you're trying to build, that's something very core to you. And no pandemic or crazy market dip is going to take that away from you. And I feel that's really important to keep in mind as first time
Yeah,
entrepreneurs.
that is so true because, and that's what my next question is. Today's entrepreneurs, when they
Yeah.
start, they already want a funded startup. Okay, शुरू में ही, on the idea, and the some of those that you guys also met during Shark Tank already want a funded startup, but there is something amazing and beautiful about like bootstrap startups.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
and you did that with Sugar. What is it that you miss about when you started?
Yeah,
Sugar, it
yeah.
was fully bootstrapped.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing you miss after raising funding is peace of mind. Honestly, when you take somebody else's money, it's a huge responsibility, and it is really not the license to get like whatever a good salary and fancy cars and a big office. It really is that this is like a when you take somebody's money, you have the accountability to return it, and for a investor to really consider you as a success, which like our early investors consider us, you to give them back like 10, 20, 30, up to 100, 200 times returns, right? And that's hard work. So you're basically getting on this treadmill, because once you really take the money, you're just running, and there's no stopping. You just have to keep going, keep
Wow.
going, keep going, because your clock starts. Every fund has that 7-year cycle, which they can probably push and extend it to 10 years, no matter who the investor is, unless it's a angel. They won't be able to get like even a SEBI approval to get it beyond like say a 10-year time frame. So they need to have that return within a time frame. And as an entrepreneur, you are committing your life to your business, right? So it's a very different expectation. Even though generally we both want the best thing out of our businesses, a VC needs it in a certain time frame, whereas as an entrepreneur, you are building it, probably building something for your life. And I feel
Mm.
recognizing that is very important, because you should that's why you should not raise the money till you have conviction that there is product market fit. I really feel that the luxury an entrepreneur has to keep going back to her customer, iterating, then again trying something, then failing, that whole recursive loop, which actually helps her shape her model and her business better, is not really as easily available once you raise that first round,
Fun.
because then you're on a clock and it's going tick tock, right? So I always tell founders that please raise it after you have clarity that your product is working and it's going to scale, because you will then start putting money in performance marketing, you'll start putting money in growth, and all that money is going to get burnt if you're climbing the wrong tree. So just be
Mm-hmm.
sure that you're not climbing the wrong tree. And I did make that mistake. I did end up raising before sugar happened, actually, when we first started with a very complicated model which didn't scale, and which is why I don't own a large percentage of my company. And that bothers me. I mean, I'm obviously it's a large company, and I do believe that a small percentage of a large pie is much better than a large percentage of a very small
Well,
pie.
yes.
But I would love to have 50% of my company at the time of IPO, which I don't have, right? So I feel it's important to think about that early on.
And that's what brings me to the next question. You're an entrepreneur, you own a percentage of your business, but you're also an investor. You're also an investor where now your own company goes IPO, you have a part of it, but there are so many companies that you have a little part of as an investor, and they might be going for an IPO, or your money would be from, they have to promise you, you're the one who's put them on this treadmill. But the other side, and especially, since you've been on Shark Tank as a shark, you see a lot of pitches.
Yeah.
But what should a perfect business pitch tell you? What is it that you're looking for?
Yeah. So I think the first is, a clear understanding of what the problem is. Because as investors, like for instance, Rannvijay feels strongly about coffee and he feels strongly about probably fitness or caps, right? But there are many things he may not feel strongly about. So understanding, you know, clearly what exactly the problem is that you're trying to solve, and why are you the right person to solve that problem. I think that's the step number one. Because the
Mm.
first, you should assume that I think the Shark Tank model is perfect in terms of the fact that there's about 10 minutes that it gets aired, and in those 10 minutes, I think the first part that you need to really convey is that what is the problem, what is the solution, and why you are the right person
The best
to
people to
the
solve it.
best people to solve this. That's one. Second is, unfortunately, an investor needs a large enough market, because otherwise, there could be very good businesses. Like I love certain restaurants, certain coffee shops, certain really, fabulous businesses that I would, love to own or run or be a part of or support, but they are not the traditional fundable businesses because of market size. So the second thing I always say is that the way to an investor's heart is unfortunately through TAM, as we call it, which is the total addressable market.
Addressable
A
market.
lot of people go into these pitches without having clarity on how big this could be. And I think that's the important step too. And I would say third is, for at the end of the day, every business's success depends on execution. And execution is the hardest. But if you can communicate either through what you've done in the past in this business or in some other business that you have the ability to execute well, I think proof of execution, or which is either in this business or something you've done in the past, that makes people understand that you're the right person to you'll be able to do the hustle and the selling that is required to make this business bigger. I think that's the third thing that needs to come out of it.
So
I,
the
I
pitch, so the pitch needs to have either an example of your execution, or it
Yeah.
needs to show you the right kind of team that you've assembled that gives you
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
कि यार हाँ
Conviction
ये
that you can build
execute
a
कर
team.
पाएंगे. So
Absolutely.
so these are things that a pitch should have. But when you're investing, these are the things that you look at. And what are the red flags which you're like, hey man, I'm not going to invest, except for the. I mean, you've already said market size needs to be big.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
any other red flags?
So before you get your check, there will always be a due diligence. And one of the biggest things that we check is, like inter-party transactions. India may, basic things like tax compliance, etc. I mean, India may, a lot of people do business the dirty way. And I personally would rather be an investor in a small company than a company that's going to make me lose sleep at night. So the only thing I don't want to do is lose sleep at night, because I have enough stress in my own life. I don't want to add the stress of companies. So if there's any hanky panky, like shady inter-party transactions, cash transactions, etc., I personally consider that a huge red flag. I would rather stay away from that business. And or if there is any like there are any known instances of like somebody uh, taking away co-founders equity and things like that. So I like to personally stay away from those, because I don't for me, integrity and just business ethics is a massive it's a very important criterion, and I would rather be a part of a smaller business than a business where I'm afraid of governance issues, etc.
Very nice. That's actually a really nice point. Okay, next question. And this is what is the conditional and societal change you think is needed to have more women in the Indian workforce? And I just want to say, in one of your answers where you're talking about entrepreneurs, you were not saying the person or this thing. You were saying she needs to go back to her customers. She needs to do that. So in your head already there is a change, but what needs to change outside of
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. So, I think the good thing is that the recognition of this problem, like as entrepreneurs, we know that less than 2% of the funding goes to women. If you talk about women in workforce, that's a abysmal 20% in India participation of women, which has gone down from 25% over the last 2 to 3 years. So, like apart from the fact that we're probably ranked 180 or 190 in the world in terms of women workforce participation of women, I think these numbers are just absolutely depressing. So I think the first thing is that just companies, organizations, educational institutes recognizing this problem and thinking that it needs to be addressed, and there needs to be an Indian way to address it. I do feel that there are a lot of shifts that can happen at in terms of like structurally at the policy level. Of course, like more funding going to women-led companies, because women hire more women and then they start more companies, and that starts a brilliant cascading effect, and more debt promotion, etc. But I think the biggest shift is not in the organization, and I think we spend a lot of time thinking about what should the company do, what should the government do. I think the biggest shift needed is at home. Because
Yes.
I feel that while you have a daughter, and I know that while now we are all raising daughters to be more ambitious, to consider that they are equal, what ends up happening is that even for the most educated women, once they get married, they end up having to deal with the burden of doing, on average, 6 times more domestic unpaid chores than men. And this 6:1 is a very Indian thing. and it is also applies to educated working women, which is very unfortunate, because I do feel that you have like a certain amount of mental, physical bandwidth that's available to, and if you are doing 6 hours every day of domestic unpaid chores, and your better half is not supporting you, then you will not have as much bandwidth to put into planning large career
Of
ambitions, right?
course.
So I
एफिशिएंसी
do
ऑफ अ
feel
ह्यूमन बीइंग उतना ही है ना देने के लिए एक दिन
utna
में.
hi hai, utna
उसमें से
hi
अगर
hai.
6 घंटा आपके कहीं और लगे एंड देन यू हैव टू बी एफिशिएंट एट योर जॉब आल्सो, it's
Absolutely.
like demanding double or out of a woman. So how do you think, so this shift has to happen at homes also, schools also, and organizations also, everywhere? And have you seen a bit of it happening? Because when you were saying it's gone down from 25% to 20 in the last 3 years, that's that's scary. You know, when you see कि अच्छा यार, it's been bad, but it's becoming better, you're like, okay, there's hope. But why do you think, I'm sorry, this I'm just,
Yeah,
because it's
yeah,
so
yeah.
scary. Why do you think that is happening? Because going
I
down.
think pandemic has been one of the reasons, because
Okay.
it suddenly, while it seems like remote work should be great for women, what happens is that like the default responsibility of every single domestic chore is always on the woman, and just like I've had so many women at work tell me that just being able to come to office helps them at least if like put in those undistracted few hours, because I've personally experienced that anybody that anything that goes wrong in the house, it doesn't matter, like if a woman is on a, and this I've seen in multiple households when I spoke to, if there's a woman on a call and a man on a call, and there's an emergency at home, like not an emergency but like something like, okay, somebody is come or whatever, people think 20 times before disturbing the man, but the woman
Yeah.
they will like reach out to. Similarly, like even for the educated women in our team, I don't know if it's because they earn less or whatever, but when the man has to shift for his career, the woman will always like drop everything that she's doing and relocate with him. Very few cases where the choice of which city to stay in rests with the woman. So these unsaid
Oh,
equations at
so
home that impact how important our careers are. And I really tell there are a lot more than 2000 women who work at Sugar, and I tell them that don't consider your careers worth based on what salary you are drawing. If
yeah.
you are doing a job that fulfills you, that excites you, fight for it. Don't drop everything and make those moves because just because of the fact that you are earning less than your husband, because
Yeah.
there is everything, but there is that compounding, right? In ICICI, there were like so many women for 20 years. They continued to work, and then now at the top leadership level, there's so many of them. So I don't think there's a capability issue. Women are capable managers, they're capable leaders, they're capable, techies. I just feel that there is a challenge that happens in terms of just the amount of preference at home our careers are given versus our better halves. And I feel that that change is the biggest change that will impact the percentage of participation.
All right. You know, even for me, my career is very important, but my wife and kids are staying in a place which is great for them. So I
Yeah.
am the one who has to travel to India and do all the work. So I think if people think about it like how you are, things could change. Uh Last question, and this is not just for business or entrepreneurship, but just generally in life. According to you, what are the 5 habits to become successful?
Okay. I think I would say the first one is that take more risks.
Okay.
I feel that we just as a country we are very risk averse, and unless we take risks, we sign up for things that we are unprepared for. It could be something as simple as that tough assignment at work. It could be something as simple as a new challenge, a marathon, or something outside of like you signed up for like Shark Tank, for instance. I feel that take those risks because what's the worst that'll happen is that you'll fail, and failure is not a problem. I think one of the greatest examples of this is probably, Pratik, who's the Masai founder, he had reached out to me, and so I love Pratik's story. It's really ties back to the things that we've been talking about. That thing that failures don't matter and reputation is very important. So Pratik and I know each other from the Fab, and I was running Fab Bag, which was the company before Sugar, and Pratik was running Grab House, and we both met, thanks to India Quotient, which was our common investor. And we pivoted to Sugar because Fab Bag didn't scale, and India Quotient continued to invest on and on because they believed in us. Pratik moved out of Grab House, and then he started this company. And a lot of people could say that, oh my God, did it fail? How big did it scale, etc. Because they had to sell it. But for him to raise money from India Quotient was very easy because he wasn't afraid to fail. The investor knew that he had built a fantastic business. It was just circumstantial that they decided they had to move out of it. But they believed in the founders. They believed, and they, like, with, I think before he launched the company, India Quotient was ready with their check. And it
Wow.
really ties back to the thing that we've been talking about, that like, if Pratik hadn't taken that risk of starting Grab House, I'm 100% sure this Masai idea wouldn't have come around, right? Because that started him off on the the entrepreneurial journey. Similarly, if I hadn't given up that job offer and done like those many years of businesses that failed and struggled, I wouldn't have ended up in a place where I found that there was a massive opportunity in cosmetics, driven by women taking more charge of their destinies, that could end up being this big opportunity. So I feel that being at the right place at the right time is hard to plan exactly, but the first step you need to do is take more risks, show up for more things.
Hmm.
Every time I sign up for a race, the night before, I'm very nervous that what will happen. I'm not going to be able to finish. If I get a DNF tag, as they call it, do not finish, it's going to be so
Yeah.
embarrassing. Aap kat jayegi. And every single time at the finish line, the one thing that I'm grateful for is that I got over that fear, showed up at the start line, I landed up there. So I think just showing up, taking risks, all that matters. So consider
Wow.
this like 3 points because you
No,
said
no,
five.
it was no, because over our whole talk, and it's very nice that even the accountability, the character, the team, all of this ties in the answer in the end. What makes you really successful is if you have a good reputation. Like, अगर आपका आपने पहले कोई काम किया होगा, आपका reputation अच्छा, the same fund will believe in you, right?
Yeah.
The same people, the team that you keep with you. So lots of good points. Just I'm done with my questions, but I was like, do you think doing Shark Tank, because you spoke about risk, and you're like, to do these opportunities, they'll come, make yourself available. Did you ever think that, hey, it could go wrong also? Abhi to chalo, it's become very big, and but did you ever think that there was a risk for you as the CEO of Sugar Cosmetics to be part of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that that I really hesitated before making that decision. I thought about 100 times. I spoke to a lot of my friends, my investors, because I was really scared. When you put yourself out there, there is you become vulnerable. Your every blunder that you make, it's all in like public light, and not we don't grow up being prepared for the public glare. I mean, you know what it's like to have every single thing that you do and limelight. And really in the last 2-3 months, all of us have had to deal with our share of backlash on social media, criticism, harsh things being said, mean comments, things like that. And I don't think all of us, it's easy to think that, oh, okay, it's great that you're like popular, but it comes with a lot of it comes with its own share of challenges.
It does.
And I'm very grateful that, in fact, I think Kaushik, my co-founder and my husband, he actually pushed me to do this. But from my perspective, this was my first set of angel investments as well. It was very scary, but
Nice.
it comes back to the starting point, which is take those risks. Because if you don't take them, you'll never know. And I can't even think about the fact that if I had said no in April 2022, I would have been dealing with the greatest regret of my life, and I was very, very close to saying yes.
Yes.
So I mean, it just ties back to that whole
Yes.
theme that just show up.
We wouldn't have met. The biggest thing is that we wouldn't have met, yeah, Vineeta. Right? How important is that?
Now I have a real celeb friend to boast to my friends about. Thanks to Shark Tank. That's Rannvijay.
Lovely, lovely. Pragun, you're back. I hope I can hear you this time.
Can you?
Yeah, no, I can't hear him. Can you hear him?
Okay.
Well, Rannvijay, it's no, nothing. No.
Wow, this is.
No,
This
he can't
is-
hear you. But I can, if you want, I can communicate on your behalf.
No, I was just going to tell.
He's saying nice things about me. I can.
Yeah.
He has a smile.
Rannvijay, we love you. Rannvijay
I
will
love
be
you
the
guys.
brand ambassador of Masai.
Yes, I'm anyways a warrior. So for me, the Masai name resonates a lot because I've actually spent 3 nights in a Masai village in Africa. And yeah, so I was there and we've like been through a lot, the whole ideology. I don't know if it's the same reason, but I'm a yeah, they call me a Masai warrior by the end of those 3 days. 3 days that anybody can do, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I have the same mentality. And
Immediately
I've seen a Masai warrior walk towards a lion. We were in the thing. We were changing the car tire. It was a really bizarre story. This guy started walking towards the lion on a phone, and he's wearing the colorful Masai robe. The lion looked at him, looked back, thought about something, looked back at the warrior, and his tourist name is Jackson. Otherwise, he has him. And got up, looked at Jackson, and walked away. The lion walked away. That's what Masai warriors. I've seen it in front of my eyes, and their villages are made of mud walls, no doors, no tar, no barbed wire, nothing. But no animal dares to come in, and that's it. So
Wow.
anytime, Pragun, just give me a call. You got my
I do.
details.
I can. You can hear me when we do. No, nothing. Got nothing. We're gonna
He's
just.
saying he will
I know.
call you, and hopefully you will be able to hear then. Hopefully it's not a problem with your ears. That's what he's trying to say.
If we need Vineeta, the Vineeta, to be part of all our communication, what a story that would be.
It's. You know what? If you can just put the speaker on and off, maybe you can get it right.
Funny. This is funny.
Just can you try putting the speaker on and off? Maybe it's gonna work. Is what Pragun wants you to try once. Speaker on and off.
Shagun, you want to put speaker on and off.
Can you hear me? No. Nothing. Nah. It is what it is. We are just gonna.
Wow. Should I exit and join back?
Yeah, I really want you to do the rapid.
Yes to that, right?
Do it. Okay. I'll do it with Vineeta till then.
Oh, you have some rapid fire
Yeah.
for Rannvijay.
Yes.
Rannvijay, you have to come back for the rapid fire. Please don't ditch me and go.
Okay.
Because otherwise I'll take the
I'm
hamper.
back.
The big Masai hamper.
So Pragun, do me a favor.
Yeah.
You ask the question to her. Let her answer the question, and I'll also know what the question is. Then I'll also answer. Fair?
Is it the same questions?
Yeah, it's the same questions.
Yes.
It's the same questions. Let's do this.
I can see it. He's ready for it. Okay. Wow.
Okay.
I can read body language.
Well, what is your comfort food, Vineeta?
Rajma chawal.
Oh, really? It's
mine also Rajma chawal. What is my favorite food? It's Rajma chawal. Yeah, high five.
Trifecta.
Awesome. So Rannvijay, after every single shoot day, and those shoot days used to be like 10, 12 hours, right? I used to go back to the hotel, and every night I used to have avocado toast and Rajma chawal. So like the thing I needed after a stressful day.
I make Rajma chawal on Sunday.
What's the next question?
All invited. One thing you own that you really need to throw away.
One thing that you own that you really need to throw away. I think a billion cats. I see Rannvijay with a new cat.
I can't throw them away. I can give them away. But one thing that I own, should I be honest? I don't want to throw it away. I'm giving it away. It's an air purifier. Because I got them for my kids, and they don't live in Mumbai anymore. So they're in a place where the air is better. So I'm because मैं तो नहीं use कर रहा. Okay, good deal.
I got it.
Vineeta?
You live in Delhi or what, Raghuvan?
No,
I'm from
yeah,
Delhi.
sure.
Okay.
फिर तो
For me,
एयर प्योरीफायर से भी कुछ नहीं होगा.
for me, it's I think some of my clothes from my school days, which I still have, and my husband makes a lot of fun that like, come on, but
Oh my
I've grown up
God.
in a middle class family, and until it like really goes really
Well
like
फेंक
said.
नहीं
old,
सकते.
it's hard to throw. Peg नहीं
But
सकते.
I'll tell you, Vineeta, why you kept them? Because you have maintained yourself. You're so fit that शायद तुम्हें स्कूल के कपड़े फिट भी आते हो. तो तुम्हारे तो it makes sense to keep them, यार. कोई पता नहीं.
That's
Highest LTV, वो हमारे business में होता है ना कि LTV of product कितना है. I think the LTV of my clothes is very long.
30 years.
Next question. Quickly, everyone. Scariest animal.
Scariest animal, sorry.
Ooh.
Um,
So, Vineeta, you remember? After your answer, I'll answer.
snake. And
So Vineeta, you remember the last couple of episodes that you guys shot? I wasn't there. I'd gone to 8
yeah, you're
different
going to.
national parks in the country. I saw snakes, Russell's vipers, and everything. The scariest animal in India, or when you're out in the wild, because in India we don't have those buffaloes and hippos, is an elephant. It's actually scary. Like we used to finish shooting at 4:35 in the northeast, and we would just be praying when we were going out in our jeeps that I hope is Pagdandi pe abhi elephants na mile. They were actually scary. Forest officers were like the guys with the guns. They're like, dude, we're going back. Camp tak ja rahe hain. Bas ab aap ye bolo aapki shooting ho gayi. Elephants na mile aapko raaste mein. It was really like it's something else.
Okay, because I've heard those amazing Kerala elephant stories of how they help humans in like tight situations, save their lives and stuff. So I think there is like a regional
Ask anybody in a
bias.
wildlife.
Oh, really?
No. If you've broken an elephant, then it's a different story. But elephants generally are you just let
Why?
them be. Actually, let animals be. But if yeah, so there it was just that we really and also rhinos from far it's okay. Don't like mess around with rhinos too much. And I though have had first hand crazy experiences I want to tell you, but another it can't be a rapid fire round. So.
In Kaziranga.
Yeah, this one was in Pake in the Tiger Reserve just in Arunachal, and Kaziranga was in Assam where a rhino came at us, bro. It came at us.
Amount Rannvijay's travel
Territorial.
with. I trust.
Snakes are the easiest. Snakes will only want you to bite if by chance you step on them or if they feel threatened by your actions. Their first
Or if you're
instinct,
Salman Khan.
yeah, the first instinct is to leave. Oh my God! Listen, now you're also a celebrity. You have to be careful. Huh?
Oh, you have to be careful. I don't need to be.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay,
Last
go.
person you asked to take a selfie with.
Last person you asked to take a selfie with, Rannvijay, not the one who took a selfie with you, but you asked to take a selfie with. For me it happened day before, so I'll start. There was we were at this event in Bangalore, and I met a guy who said that he loves our foundation sticks, and I was it's very very rare for guys to own up that they wear makeup, and I do feel that there's a big shift happening there, but it's like the most unsaid and underrated shifts. And I was very happy, and I asked him that if he's okay with me showing it to my team, and he was like, I decided to take a selfie with him, and I'm very excited about what this means for the future of our business. Yeah.
This is amazing because in a cosmetics industry, and this is what we were talking, this one of the biggest influencers in China, that guy sells lipsticks, sells them out while he's live. It's a guy. When that shift happens here, oh my God, मेरे को भी खरीदने पड़ेंगे before IPO. Sugar के कुछ सामान. That's this. Please. But
मैं
that's
भिजवा
crazy.
रही हूँ. अमान, अश्नीर, पीयूष सबको भिजवा दिया. अभी आपका नंबर है next.
Yeah. So yeah, now to even Aman, Ashneer and all also need to wear a bit of makeup because they're under the spotlight. For me, I just took some selfies with these amazing poker players. Yeah, I'm part of something where this kid, he just paid his father's medical bill from the poker money that he'd won, but he hasn't been able to tell them that he plays poker with them. He's going to be a star very soon. He hasn't told them that poker se kamaya because it's still a stigma. It's a sport. And I took a selfie with him because he's on the way to representing India very soon on a world level. And this kid lives in a rural area. His parents don't even know. कहता मैं internet में marketing करके पैसा कमाता हूँ. अपने माँ बाप, he's bought everybody phones. He's paying for his sister's education. Like empowerment to another level. But it's still
So
a bad.
inspiring.
It's crazy. So yeah. So I think just took a selfie with him yesterday. So
Yeah. No, poker is
Rahul.
considered gambling, but it's actually a proper math
sport.
probability game. Yeah, it's a proper
Yes.
sport.
Yes.
Yeah, especially online poker. Okay. Next question. Last movie you watched?
Last movie you watched? Okay, I watched King Richard in the theater and I loved it.
Before the
Oh
slap or
my
after?
God.
Sorry.
Dude, so many questions. So many questions out there. They're going to ask her.
I'm a Will Smith fan, so sorry, go ahead.
I've met Will Smith a couple of times when he came to India, right? He came to promote, he came with Sony actually, and the second time he came to promote a Netflix film, and I met him 3 times over those 2 days. I have selfies with him. And I can't tell you how my world, I got shattered. But the last movie I saw was the new Batman film. And I saw it in theater.
Yeah.
Loved it.
That was a good one. He can't hear me. I can say anything. Okay.
Somebody
Next.
Very
say
dark,
he's in
like-
India now. Rannvijay, please get me to meet Will Smith. I'm a big fan. If you can.
अभी थोड़े से busy
I
हैं.
just read his book.
Will भाई थोड़े से busy हैं. It's not in his will to meet anyone.
Okay. Let's keep this rocking. No puns intended. Skills or degrees?
Skills or degrees? Skills any day. I have too many degrees and I can say that clearly.
Having only 1 degree under my belt, I should say skill.
Right answer.
100%.
Exercise. Is it worth it?
Exercise, is it worth it? I can answer on behalf of both of us. Definitely.
100%. 100%.
Okay, I
not-
don't have
I
answers, but
feel
it's
like-
the highest ROI, I think, ever in the world.
Oh my God, how well said. I've seen Vineeta, like, I'll tell you guys something. I really do follow Vineeta now on social media and generally because I know the kind of person she is. When people get funded, when they're doing really well, you're the founder, अभी yacht पे दिखेंगे, पता नहीं कहीं और दिखेंगे, कुछ करते हुए, ये दिखती है अपनी family के साथ, and she's running. She's in Spain, she's running, she's somewhere else, she's running, because if you give fitness priority, you can enjoy this life for a very, very, very long time. Right? You could be very successful at 40, but if you're not fit, कोई फायदा नहीं है unicorn बनने का भी. कोई फायदा नहीं. You have to be
Absolutely.
fit to enjoy it. And to be there for your kids, to go rock climbing, to go trekking with your kids. Right? Awesome. So fitness.
Absolutely. 100x to that. Yeah.
This is my tectonic shift moment. I'm going to start exercising after this. Okay. Next question. Most used app on your phone?
Most used app on your phone, Rannvijay. On mine, embarrassingly, it's WhatsApp. I'm being honest here.
It
You can't say
It is.
WhatsApp.
I
No,
think
no,
there
no,
is a
WhatsApp.
huge monopoly that Facebook has done. It's between WhatsApp and then Insta, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Both of them are owned by the same bloody person. It is WhatsApp. But now
Okay.
that I spend a little bit of time in Dubai, you can't really work on WhatsApp. So there's another app
Botim.
called Botim, or Telegram or some of these. But yeah, it's still what's there are apps that will tell you where you spend most of your time on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah, I
WhatsApp.
track that. So, after this whole Shark Tank thing, I started ending up spending a lot of time on social media. And then I put like these very strict time limits. So I have like a 30-minute time limit for Instagram and 15 minutes for Twitter. And my phone just shuts it off. And then I track it every week, how well did I do? Because again, you can't
Well
get
done.
sucked into this stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So for a new kind of entrepreneur, this could be one of the things to say, dude, limit your social media times, because it's a new age thing. It wasn't a problem 10 years ago. So Vineeta very well said, because you get, especially when people are saying things about the way you look, what you're wearing, which has got nothing to do with your prime business.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're getting drawn into that, whether my make oh my God. So good that you limited it, because you also have to 6 hours of homework is also there, like you said. Your social media.
Yeah.
It's a
So
joke.
like you
Yeah.
said, it's one, is it a drain on time, and second, it could be a drain on self-confidence. So it's very important to
Yes.
limit social media.
Okay. Let's move on to the last
So
two
this
questions.
is okay. We are done almost. That's
Last 2 questions.
2 more questions. Last 2 questions.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. If you could listen to one song only for the rest of your life, what song will it be?
Okay, if you could listen to one song only for the rest of your life, which one would it be? For me, it would be "If What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger" by Kelly Clarkson. That's also
Yeah,
the theme of my
nice.
life.
Oh, nice.
Okay, fair
We
enough.
could
That's
put
a
that in the
very
background for this video.
mine's similar. Remember the name. 10% love,
Yeah.
20%.
Nice.
Fort
I love
Minor.
this song.
To
Love
remember
this
the
song.
name. Yeah, मतलब
Yeah.
उस पे मैं
Get
पार्टी
on
भी
this
कर
call
सकता
and
हूँ,
just
खूब
workout
खा
भी कर
पी भी
सकता हूँ.
सकता हूँ, जिम में भी जा सकता हूँ, वर्कआउट भी कर सकता हूँ. It's a bit of a everything. Yeah,
Nice.
Fort
Okay.
Minor.
Hype song.
Fort Minor.
Fort Minor. Yeah. A shout out to Mike Shinoda. What is the
मेरा
message
मजा
for
नहीं
you?
आया आप लोगों से बात करके, बिल्कुल मजा नहीं आया.
No, that's not. Your message to your 18-year-old self.
Your message to your 18-year-old self. I'll go first. It's again a repeat of what we've said, but yeah, fail early and listen to your gut. Rannvijay.
और पढ़ाई में जो इतना टाइम वेस्ट कर रहा है मत कर, खेल, खूब मजे कर, बॉडी बना, एंजॉय योरसेल्फ बडी, स्ट्रेस मत ले, आगे बहुत मजा आने वाला है. To be honest, I would just
और
say
बाद में
my
कुछ नहीं हुआ तो मसाई से टेक पढ़ के अच्छी जॉब मिल जाएगी.
yeah, बस. No, I want to say that I would go back to my 18-year-old self and say, okay, every decision that you're taking, whether it's good or bad, do not regret anything. Karte raha, because every time you feel like, oh, I shouldn't have done this, has taught you and has made you the man or the woman that you are today. So I would definitely say just like make the mistakes. Don't worry.
Thank
Stay
you,
fit.
Rannvijay. It's this is for you, Vineeta. It has been
I
insightful.
actually
You can
want
do this for
Pragun
me
more than
also.
I just want to say actually thanks to Vineeta. She's a guest of honor, but she's very patient,
Absolutely.
playful, fun, serious businesswoman, all of that, a good like fitness freak, mother, everything. Great wife. I've had words with your husband, very balanced. To work with your wife and husband, you guys have got it good. Touch wood, nazar na lage. But also you took care of us, yeah, between me and Pragun, this communication, you made it happen. Thank you so much for your patience, Vineeta. And Masai, guys, thanks for getting us together. Every second that I spend with Vineeta is actually a pleasure for me. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, both of you. I wanted to just get done with Rannvijay, so Vineeta, I can pitch you my idea. Actually, I have a great idea.
He's again cribbing about his girlfriend.
No.
He's cribbing about his girlfriend now.
No,
He's cribbing about his
no.
girlfriend and his salary. Just tell Pratik. Just tell Pratik.
Calling him now.
He's pitching his idea. I think he's not telling me that you're already giving him a check for his idea.
No, but I would like to. I think we've taken
Pre
up so
IPO में
much.
कुछ भी देने को तैयार हूँ.
Oh man, I genuinely don't want this to end. But sadly, it shall have to. Thank you, both of you, for giving us your time. Rannvijay, you've been a baller for this session.
You see how I got the body language just like now.
He's calling you baller.
A baller.
Yeah.
A baller. Screw it.
I play a lot of basketball, yes.
Vineeta,
Please come and attend my league. Go come and watch the league. You'll have fun.
Yeah, I will, most definitely. Vineeta, thank you as always. You've been accommodating.
He's saying thank you very much, or he's saying I challenge you
अब
for a
cut
karate.
लो. अब बहुत हो गया.
cut
Can't take you guys anymore.
I
Cut
can't.
लो.
I cannot.
Vineeta, so
stand
nice
this
to
anymore.
chat with you. Pragun, thanks for
Okay,
holding up
thank
your
you.
your end and being patient with my audio situation. But I think this is a unique interaction. I'm really happy that we got Vineeta to
Thank you.
do what she does best.
Thank you.
Rajma chawal. Let's meet for Rajma chawal, Vineeta.
Yes, absolutely. Pragun बनाएगा.
While we are running. While we are running.
Oh, no, run followed by Rajma Chawal. I think that's a great plan.
Perfect.
Awesome. Super, Rannvijay. Thank you so much for being awesome as always. Thank you, Pragun. Had super fun. Bye, guys. Yeah, bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye, Pragun. Bye.
See you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been an absolute ball for all of us. I hope that you've had fun, you've learned, you have spent an entire day listening to some of the top minds, if not the most brilliant minds in the Indian ecosystem when it comes to startups. I think that I would first like to thank Pratik and obviously my boss as well for help, Ankur, for making this happen. Please, everybody, follow us on social media. You can find us at Masai School on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. I would love to see you guys again. We're going to host another one of these very soon and get you some of the top minds, because success has many faces and Masai stands for success. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope it's been a good event for you. Cheers.